Good morning, class. You are welcome to the class on IT strategy and planning. IT strategy and planning is taken by MICT 1 students in their second semester. And there is something about this course. One is you must see yourself as an IT professional, because that's the objective of the program, building the professionalism in you. And secondly, the objective of this course is equally to let you understand why it's good for you to put something in place when you're planning on a project. That's your project management. So in this class, we shall be starting with basically what is meant by strategy and planning on its own. We shall be considering the synopsis and as well discuss some other experiences in terms of scenario. Okay, so today we'll be discussing about strategy and some reason and objectives when it comes to identifying strategy. Firstly, I'll be starting with what IT business means. And meanwhile, this particular course does not really take much time. We should have like maybe 5 classes to finish up. The synopsis is not so huge. So try and be attentive and make sure you replay, and then put your own, as you're listening, try and relate to your own experience outside the classroom. That's talking about your workplace. Okay. Now, when you're talking about a business is just talking about a platform where goods and services are being provided. And in relation to IT, that's talking about IT business, you're talking about that relationship whereby there is a purpose in provides some skills in terms of technology in order for you to achieve some goals. It can also means a means of providing some services that are rendered by information technology, okay, for other parties to be able to enjoy. Meanwhile, it has to be on a legal ground, and it has to be shared on the same purpose. Whoever you are transacting the business with, okay, you must all commune together on the same purpose, okay. And when you're not talking about business, there's need for you to also understand what IT management is. So IT management is a discipline where you have all the technology resources, okay, being managed in accordance to its needs and priorities. What we are talking about is IT resources, they are being designed for a particular purpose. And managing this means you have to let them work the way the functionalities are defined. And these resources we are talking about, they are the ones that you're talking about the computer hardware, you're talking about The software, you're talking about data, the connectivity, that's the network. You're talking about the data center itself. You're talking about the sites. You're talking about the people, the staff, the people, the end user, those that are going to use these resources. They are also part of the IT resources. So managing all these resources according to its functionalities is what we're trying to pick on. Now, I picked on pathway to excellence because, one, when you're talking about IT management, you're actually trying to achieve excellence in its output. Okay, the outputs from all these resources, from the defined functionalities, must be excellent enough to satisfy your own need and your customer's need. And what are the pathways? One, strategic planning. Then two, strategic management. When you're talking about strategic planning, there is need for you to first understand the relationship between strategy and plan. A strategy, well, from dictionary meaning, is when you highlight some actions that you need to take. I need you to concentrate more on this part. A strategy spells out, as it's written there, it spells out the optimum actions required to achieve general objectives, but it does not provide details sufficient to carry out a plan. Now, what are we trying to say? There are actions, okay, that you need to take. There are some steps that you need to undergo before you can achieve something. It is a strategy, or there are strategies when the implementation plan, implementation action is not captured. But when there is implementation action on how to implement, then you are now talking about plan. I'll give an example. For example, you're being registered as for this program MICT. It's something that you must have been thinking of, okay, for some time. And during the moment of carrying out the thoughts, that means you're trying to place some strategies in place. But the moment that you now pay your school fee, that means you are in for it, that makes it a plan. And as part of the plan is defining how you'll be making your weekend classes without any disturbances. Meanwhile, all those ones must have been taken care of during the stages of strategic planning. Strategic planning does not mean it is planned. Planning that I'm talking about here is the English word. Now, what's the relationship between these two? A strategy forms the basis for a plan. What that is trying to say is there can't be a plan without strategy. This is the more reason why some businesses fail. It's because, one, they just go into the planning. They don't have the actions spelled out at the right time. And that's when there is no good foundation, then there is failure. So a strategy forms the basis for a plan, but it is not a plan. Adding implementation details to the strategy creates a plan. Is that okay? Now, furthermore, on strategy. A strategy is a comprehensive master plan. The master plan is still talking about the English. Don't mix it up. is a comprehensive master plan stating how the corporation will achieve its mission and objectives. How the organization will achieve its mission and objective. There are three categories of strategy. You have the corporate strategy, you have the business strategy, you have the functional strategy. Every organization has vision to be accomplished, and there are mission statements too. And there's need for you to also understand the difference between vision and mission. A vision is futuristic, while mission is within some time. You must be able to achieve this within a space of time. You must be able to achieve this another mission within a space of time. But the focus of the corporate organization that's talking about the headquarters is the vision. They must not deviate from it. While when you have other branches, other offices, then they may you may subject them to some mission statements. But meanwhile, the overall direction will always be at the focus, which is the vision. So a corporate strategy is the overall direction and the management, okay, of the business. That's talking about the organization at the headquarters focusing on how to accomplish the vision. It is headquarters because it manages all the other branches. For them to know that they are not to ensure that they are not deviating from the vision of the organization. I have here another sub type of strategy being linked to the corporate strategy, and that is called a standalone strategy. A standalone strategy is developed outside the normal planning cycle in response to competitive or industry developments. There's something you need to know as an IT professional that's talking about is a competitive world. There are so many people involved in the business, in the services you are rendering. And that's the more reason why it is competitive. The major goal is for you to be recognized. May not necessarily be the best, but as one of the leading service provider. So when you're talking about standalone strategy, it's not normally stated at the beginning, but at some point during the lifetime of the corporation, then it comes on. I'll give you an example before I forget. Every slide is 15 minutes duration. So as soon as 15 minutes, this will end. Then we'll continue again. Now, a standalone strategy, I'm going to give an example of the best example I could give now at this moment is banking industry. So in banking industry, you can see there are so many banks. Why we had them in those years, then we have the new generation ones. The new generation ones are linked to digital age. So I shall be picking on First Bank as an example.